Plan today is we're going to go around the pattern once, do a quick touch and go, and then we'll head up to Ogden practice area. We're going to go down the west side of Antelope Island and film up there, and maybe we'll do practice an emergency engine out up by Fremont Island, and then we'll come back to Sky Park and land. Okay, we're going to hold short here at 3-5. We're going to make sure no part of the planes cross that hold short line. We're going to check for traffic and downwind, base and final. There's no traffic out there, and we've been listening on the radio, so we're good to go. So we're going to give a radio call. Sky Park traffic, Warrior 389er86, taking runway 35 for northbound departure, Sky Park. Okay, just checking again for traffic.
Sky Park traffic, Mooney 6769 uniform. Over Lagoon 5500, maneuvering Sky Park.
Okay, so our call-outs on takeoff roll are going to be that the airspeed's alive. We'll double check our instruments are in the green. And we're going to rotate at 55 knots. Okay, so we're lined up here with the runway center line. We're going to go full power. Just a touch of right rudder in this plane. Okay, airspeed's alive. Gauge is in the green. Rotate at 55. Okay, and we're just going to let her come off. Very nice. We're going to fly runway center line. We'll climb out and depart the pattern northbound. Get this thing trimmed, climb out. Oh, we want 78, so we're going to bring the nose down a little bit. Sky Park traffic, Warrior 389er86, departing the pattern northbound. Climbing to 55, and we'll be west of the freeway to Lagoon, Sky Park.
Sky Park traffic, Mooney 6769, uniform. Southbound of 5500, we'll keep the east side by 15 for you. Sky Park.
We'll do a climb out checklist. So flaps up and fuel pump off. It's going to be our climb out checklist. So fuel pump off. Okay, climb out checklist complete. Okay, everything looks good. Gauges are in the green. We're climbing at about 500 feet a minute. Then we're going to level off at 5.5, so our power is going to come back to about 80% or so. Then we're ready to talk to Salt Lake approach. Okay, let's pull up our map. So we got ourselves here on the fourth flight on the iPad. Okay, let's pull up Salt Lake approach. So we're just going to pop the frequency in there. Then we're ready to put in a squawk code. Salt Lake approach, Warrior 389er86, over Lagoon 5500, requesting flight following.
Warrior 389er86, Salt Lake approach, squawk 0352.
Squawk 0352, 389er86.
Warrior 986, radar contact 8 miles south of Hill Air Force Base, Salt Lake altimeter 3017. Say altitude, verify Ogden practice area.
Altimeter 3017, altitude 5,400. Yeah, heading to Ogden practice area. It's going to go north tip of Antelope Island and then around the west side of Antelope, 389er86.
Warrior 986, roger.
We'll keep it at 5.5 till we get past this shelf of the Salt Lake City Class Bravo airspace that's over here on my left. And then we'll climb up about 6,000, head for the north tip of Antelope Island, and then we're going to go over the west side and do a little sightseeing tour over on the west side. Okay, so we got it hands off, just about keeping steady at 5.5, so nice and trimmed out, doing 97 knots. Let's do a cruise checklist real quick. So we did our climb checklist, now we're going to do cruise, so throttle 2400 to 2600. And we'll check on our map, make sure we're clear of airspace. We got hill to our left right over here, so we're clear of them. And then this shelf that we're flying under right now is going to be 7,500, so we're clear to go up much higher if we want, but we're at 5.5, so we're totally good to go on our airspace right now. We got our emergency checklist over here, which we're going to practice an emergency today. So we're going to practice the same emergency that we all did in the sim together. And I'm going to do it in the same place, Fremont Island, so you guys can see where to when we did it in the sim. And I'm flying by myself, so it'll be fun to see how quickly I can get through the checklist and stuff. because you got to be prepared to do it by yourself as well as with somebody else, right? So we'll go through, we'll do our ABC checklist, which is going to be airspeed, which is our best glide speed, which is I have right here, 73 knots in this plane, so I'm going to go right to best glide. B is going to be, then I'm going to look for my best place to land, and you guys are going to see how much better the options are on Fremont Island, because it's actually not even an island right now. There's so many mud flats that are so big because the lake's low. So we'll probably pick something like that out, and then we'll go to our checklist C, and we'll run through our checklist. And it's really good to have your checklist engine out, flow, memorized, but we know we're thinking about fuel first, right? So we're checking our mixture, we're checking our fuel tank selector, we're checking our fuel flow. All that stuff is going to be on that checklist, so that's what I'm immediately thinking about. All right, first of all, I just wanted to show you guys how much room we have to land the plane out here compared to
November 9 uniform kilo, radar service terminated, squawk VFR, change to advisory frequency approved.
Okay, just making sure I wasn't missing a radio call there. So I want to show you guys how much room we have to land out here. You can see all these mud flats are just massive. So really, we've got tons of options. So we'll just go through what we're thinking about, what we're looking for when we're picking our best place to land. So here's Fremont Island. There's actually a couple of off-airport landing strips. I'll show you one right here on this island, so kind of cool. I don't know that I'm allowed to do it in this airplane, so I'm not going to land there, but if we had a cool tail dragger or tailwheel airplane, this would be a really sweet place to practice. So I'm going to come down and just show you guys real quick.
November 274 Golf Charlie, Salt Lake approach, runway 35, descend and maintain 9er south.
Okay, so if you look out my left window, you can see I'm going to fly right over this landing strip. It's like a road, but there's no cars out here. So that's actually an off-airport landing strip. Pretty sweet. Okay, I'm going to add power, climb back up.
Delta 1004, contact approach 125.7.
I'll show it to you guys one more time from the other side.
Yeah.
Cool, so let's come around here. All right, let's see if we can get a look.
SkyWest 3886, reduce speed
so
to 210.
you can see it here as well. I guess it might be a road that comes up from below. But people do land their airplanes on this little strip here. This is where they practice off-airport landings. All right, so now you got a peek at that. Let's head up. We'll climb up to 6,000 and then we'll pretend like we lost our engine.
Left and at 280 knots, descend and maintain 1000.
Okay, so we're going to pretend that I'm just flying along and all of a sudden I lost my engine. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get my airspeed right to 73 knots. Okay, and that's going to guarantee.
SkyWest 36,
so right here.
Speed to 210.
Okay, so I'm getting right to 73, which is going to be my best glide. And then I'm going to try to trim for that. Okay,
November 4 Golf Charlie, Ogden Airport, 12 o'clock, 21 miles, advised when you have it in sight.
Okay, so there's about 70, so I want to get as close as I possibly can to 73. And all the way, I'm already looking for my best place to land, so I know I got all these places, but I know also that I would really like to land to the north because the wind's out of the north today. So I'm going to do a nice smooth turn back, and my airspeed's getting a little slow, so I'm bringing my nose down. I'm trying to just, I want to hit 73, smooth turn back, and I can see down there that I've got these sand flats. Okay, so I'm just watching that airspeed, trying to get that right, and then I'm going to my engine failure. So we've got our airspeed 73, and then we've got our fuel pump on, check. And we've got our switch tanks. Let's do that. Okay, and then carburetor heat full on. Okay, let's do that. And mixture full rich. Okay, we do that. I don't want to do that right now, but I would in a real emergency. Magnetos, we're going to check our magnetos left and right. Primer in and locked. Okay, I'm still looking for my landing. Primer's in and locked. And I'm running out of time, so I'm starting to think about my landing. We're a little bit fast, so I'm bringing my nose up. I'm just going to follow this beach line. I don't want to be near the water. I want to be on the mud flats or the sand. So I'm shooting for that. Coming down, getting lower and lower. Do I have time to get all the way through? Engine gauges, check those. Throttle in 3/4 of an inch, so I check that throttle. Okay, mixture, carb heat off. We got that off now, yep. Fuel pump off. Okay, now we're getting ready to land. Land immediately. Okay, I'm getting pretty low, so I'm gonna go full power and climb us up, but that's basically what it looks like, and I've got a nice smooth area here. I try to land on that smooth ground down there, if you can see that. Okay, so that's what it would look like, and I wouldn't even mess around with up top up there because I knew I had all these mud flats. So now I'm pretty low, so I'm just going to climb nice and smooth out at 78 knots. Okay, 78's right there. So that's kind of what our working through our power, our engine failure.
For Golf Charlie, contact Ogden Tower. Have a good night.
Checklist, that's kind of what that looks like. Traffic pattern altitude, so I'm going to start descending for 5,000 feet because we said that was the pattern altitude at Sky Park. All right, and then we're going to go to approach to landing. So ATIS weather, listen to, we're looking at the smokestacks on top of the refinery here, is giving me my wind information. So it's out of the north, so I know I'm landing 3-5. Radios are set, flight instruments set, landing light on, so go landing light.
Firm 96 Echo Delta is over the Centerville Exchange, 5,300. We're going to enter. We're inbound, we're going to enter on a 45 for right down 135, full top Sky Park.
Okay, fuel tank proper. Tank, we're descending down to 5,000. And mixture set for landing and approach briefing. We got our seatbelts on and our flaps as needed. Here we go. So we're going to enter on the 45. Sky Park traffic, Warrior 389er86 is entering 45 for downwind for runway 35, touch and go, Sky Park. Okay, so right at 5,000 feet. All right, so I'm at 5,000. I'm pulling my power back to about 1,800 RPMs right about here. And then I'm getting in the white arc. And then we're going to go first notch of flaps down. And then we got my railroad cars that I turned base on.
Traffic 96 Echo Delta is right downwind, 35.
Okay, I'm looking over. I got my runway in sight. And I know I got traffic right behind me on downwind. Okay, we got our power 1,800. Let's see, we're looking for our runway. Looks a little different now because they got new buildings there. And then I'm within the white arc. I'm going to put down my second notch of flaps. And I'm a little high, so my power's coming back. Sky Park traffic, Warrior 389er86, turning final, runway 35, touch and go, Sky Park. Okay, I got my radio call done. And I'm a little bit high. I got 2 white lights on my glide slope. But I'm getting set up here on the center line as I come around. And I'll just pull my power back to about 1,500 and let her come down. And then I can put in my last notch of flaps. I just want to get real stabilized center line. I'm right on the center line now. And then I got my hand on the throttle the whole time. I'm right on the top of the glide slope. Perfect, I'm aiming for the first stripe past the numbers. Okay, airspeed is right at 62 knots, that is perfect. 60 to 65 is perfect in this airplane, okay?
Sky Park traffic, 96 Echo Delta is turn right base.
Now I'm coming down, I got the runway made, so I'm going to pull my power back, aiming for that first stripe. Okay, now I'm just rounding out, holding it off, holding it off, holding it off. Okay, nice touchdown. Okay, flaps are going up. Okay, flaps all the way up. Now we're just going to go full power. We said we're going to rotate about 55, 60 knots. Just let the plane come back off. Oh, it's so fun to practice landings when it's smooth like this. All right, so we're gonna climb out 78 knots. We got our flaps all the way up. Hey, Skypark traffic, Warrior 38986, turning right base, runway 35, full stop, Skypark. Okay, this time we're gonna do a short field, so we're gonna get our airspeed right down to 55 knots on final. And then we're gonna touch down right at the beginning of the first stripe past the numbers. Okay, second notch of flaps going in. And then we're trying to stop within 200 feet for a short field. And the biggest thing is hitting our spot and having our airspeed right. So instead of 60 to 65 on final, I'm gonna go 60 to 55. Okay, last notch of flaps coming in. And turning on to final, we're getting lined up perfectly. And then we'll be 65 here at the end on final, and then we'll slowly bleed off our speed as we get closer. So right now we're 63, 64. We like that, we're stabilized on approach. Okay, we're getting right on the runway center line. We're right on the glide slope. We got one white and one red on the VASI. And then we're just super stable coming in. So now we're 60. We'll just get it a hair slower, 55. Okay, we don't want to get much slower than 55. Aiming for that first stripe past the numbers. So we'll hopefully be able to see on our camera if we hit it or not. Okay, there's 57, so I want to hit 55. It's right there. Okay, power back. All right, I think we hit our spot, but that was kind of a touchdown, just a hair harder than I wanted to. But we definitely hit our spot for sure, and it was fine. It wasn't a bad landing, it just wasn't quite as soft and smooth as we wanted.